Hello, everyone. I'm back again, Mrs. Mancuso from the School Counseling Office here at Oliver Ames High School. And today we're going to be speaking with Mrs. Maria Palma, who is the department head for the World Language Department. And she's just going to answer some questions so you guys can get to understand and know a little bit more about the courses that are available to you at the high school. So, hi, Ms. Palma. How are you?
Hi, Mrs. Mancuso. I'm fine. How are you?
Excellent. So, can you just talk to us a little bit about your program in general and what the World Language Department offers?
Absolutely. Starting at Easton Middle School, students can elect to take French or Spanish starting in 7th grade. And then they will complete level 1 over 2 years. And then they can continue with that language here at OA up through level 5. And then they also have the ability to add in Latin if they wish. So we offer levels 1 through 5 here of Latin, French, and Spanish. And students can take more than one if they want. They could finish one language and then pick up another one. And you know, many students have done that over the years. So, so we do offer a good variety here and levels up through 5.
That's exciting. I know sometimes kids ask us this, and I was just thinking about it. Sometimes kids decide they want to do French 1. Is that ever a possibility to do French 1, or is it just going into French 2?
So we do have French 1, a full 2-year program of the middle school that helps them complete level 1. And then here at OA, we do have French 1 in our program of studies, and we would absolutely run a course if we have enough people enrolled in it. So if we get the numbers in the spring with the tally data and we have enough people who are interested in taking level 1 French, we will pick up a section and create it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So yes, French 1 is possibly available, but it depends on how many of you guys sign up for it. So just keep that in mind, okay? Because that's a big question we always get, so thank you. What are some projects or areas of focus that your department completes?
I would say we have, in terms of areas of focus, we have an AP program at the level 5 for both French and Spanish, and even some advanced Latin students end up doing the AP program as well. So we really vertically align our curriculum and our skill-based approach to prepare the students to take the AP level. And if they don't choose to go that route, though, they can also take an honors track up through level 5 as well. So we really do focus on a skill-based approach where students are working to think critically, use the language in context, and pull in authentic resources and be able to really use the skills that they learn in authentic settings. So we do focus on authentic contexts and settings for the students to use their language skills.
So they do actually get to speak and communicate in the language in the classroom?
Yes. We also have a language lab where any class can visit with their teacher and work on recordings, simulated conversations, listening activities, so that we are really focused on developing all of the skills that encompass learning a language to proficiency.
Cool. What do you think students enjoy the most about your program?
Looking at this question earlier really let me reflect on my department and how much I think a lot of us, both teachers and students, really enjoy getting to see each other multiple times over the years. Being a slightly smaller department than some of the bigger major subjects, we often have students more than once, levels 2 and 3 or levels 4 and 5. And I think that it really allows us to develop very supportive relationships with the students and serve as mentors to them and really see their growth over the years. And I think the students really benefit from that and really enjoy it. And when they come back to visit, they love seeing somebody that they've had for multiple years and sharing their memories with them. So I do think that a lot of positive relationships really come out of the students' time with us over the years. I will say also, historically, we have had a really great travel program for all 3 of our languages. And we've run France and Spain exchanges over the years. We've run service learning trips to Peru and Puerto Rico. And Latin has run cultural exploration trips to Italy over the years. And so that has been a highlight, something that students have participated in and absolutely loved and gotten so much out of. And those are just those memorable experiences. And like we talk about, those authentic settings where they're able to really use their skills and bring the culture to life. So I'd say those are probably some of the big things that students take from our department.
That sounds exciting. I know.
Yeah, with a little COVID, break in there, we're hopeful to get things back up and running in the next few years.
All right, that'd be just in time for you guys. Keep that in mind. So this is an interesting question about graduation requirements. And since world language right now is not a world language, it's not a requirement for graduation, but there is some essential pieces to it. So I don't know if you can talk more about just the importance or relevance of taking a world language.
Yes, absolutely. As you said, it is not currently a requirement to graduate from Oliver Ames. Per the program of studies, however, it does say that to graduate from OA and be considered a college prepared student, you should take 2 consecutive levels of a language, which could mean levels 1 and 2 of either French, Spanish, or Latin. And going even further is definitely beneficial and absolutely wonderful. But colleges in general would like a student to take those 2 levels of the language. So that we always encourage any student to try to do those 2 years of the language, just to give themselves the opportunity to go to any college that they choose. And if that's not their path later on, that's fine, but it is good to give themselves that try and that challenge and see where it takes them. And the longer they stay with it, the better they are, absolutely.
And I think in the counseling department, we would say the same thing, that it's really a great idea to do 2 consecutive years of the same language. 1, because it's a new subject and they might really enjoy it. And 2, if they are thinking about college, that looks really, it's important, for that college process. So even if you're not sure at this point about what you want to do after high school, to give yourself those options, it would be really good to do at least 2 years of the same language. And anything you do beyond that just looks really fantastic. So, so we always encourage students to go on and continue and do more advanced levels in language too.
Right,
so.
Taking on a challenge that is optional to take on and giving it your best shot, that says a lot about a person. And we really encourage that, to stretch their expectations for themselves.
Do you lead any clubs or are any clubs associated with your department?
We have 3 really fun clubs in world language, actually. Mrs. Gove is the Latin club advisor and the Latin teacher. Mr. Sharkey is our primary French teacher and runs the French club. And Mrs. Sharkey is our Spanish club advisor. And in the last couple of months, each of them has run some really fun events for the holidays associated with their cultures. So the 3 of them are really very active and very enthusiastic with their group. And they have really fun student groups that just love to plan these events, and it's very much a cultural exploration. It's not like they have to go after school and speak Spanish all day. It's just we want to really attach the culture of the languages that they study to their experience, so that they see how fun it is as well as the academic component.
Awesome. And then thinking about the future, what programs can we talk about maybe different programs or jobs or college majors students may pursue, or, if they're really invested in world language, what could that lead to for them down the road?
Yes, absolutely. And again, looking at these questions earlier really made me reflect, and I absolutely love hearing from alumni. That's one of my favorite parts of this profession is seeing just where they go with their lives and what they get into. So in recent years, talking with some alumni, I've had a lot of them go into study abroad programs at their colleges. Most colleges, I'd say 4-year colleges, offer a really extensive variety of study abroad programs. And often students who take up through the higher levels of language here at OA are encouraged to take to enroll in a study abroad program at their college. And just in terms of, skill-wise, they're using the Spanish or using the French that they've learned, but as well, it really is a huge experience in the way of personal growth for them. They go away from home for the first time for an extended period, and they learn so much, and they just really broaden their horizons. And so a lot of them are really inspired to do that, having taken up through higher levels here and encouraged and knowing that they have the tools to do that next step. So in college, a lot of them have done that and had wonderful experiences. Many of them talk about how they minor in the language as well, and then it kind of pairs along with what they're looking at for their intended careers. So I would say in recent years, I've heard a lot of people, graduates of OA and just people in general, saying how much they're using other languages in areas such as medical settings, hospital settings, absolutely, because patients come from everywhere and speak every language. In the education field, I mean, there's, again, students speaking all sorts of languages in every single school setting. The restaurant industry, social work, travel industry, of course, criminal justice. I mean, those professions where you come into contact with the population as a whole. You never know when you would be able to use your language skills, and it's come in hugely useful for us bilingual teachers here at OA as well.
I can say I wish I had continued on with my Spanish skills for sure. I think it would have been really helpful. So just something to keep in mind, you guys, that it is really important and relevant nowadays. If you can learn a second language, I think it's really really helpful to have. So, but thank you, Mrs. Palma. Thank you for sharing all that information with us about your department. If you guys have any questions about languages at the high school, you can talk to your current teacher if you're taking a language, or you can certainly reach out to Mrs. Palma by email if you have any questions, okay? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.